Hey, welcome back, everyone. It's John Clark. I'm a therapist, group practice owner, and a business therapist in private practice, trying to help more people and make more money. And I'm excited to jump into a solo episode today. It's going to be a very interactive one in that I'm doing live reviews of websites. We were going to have our guest, Justin, get something come up. And so I'm going to take over and improvise, which is one of my strengths, I will say. And we're going to make it happen. Before I jump into the first website, I'll just say I've got a couple spots open right now for individual coaching for established group practice owners. I think I've got two spots. We meet twice a month. We start with mission, vision, and values, really getting clear on your vision for your life and business, creating a roadmap, setting up our owner dashboard so that you know your numbers at all times, making sure you're building a great culture, your numbers, you're doing meaningful work, that you're profitable. If you're interested in that, then just go to privatepracticeworkshop.com, or better yet, just email me, john@privatepracticeworkshop.com. That's john@privatepracticeworkshop.com to apply for individual coaching. Let's get right into it. If you're here live, go ahead and ask questions in the chat, or you can comment and whatnot. If you're listening to the audio version, I'm going to do my best to make this audio version as well as obviously the video version on YouTube. But if you're listening to audio podcast, you might want to just switch over, open YouTube, type in Private Practice Workshop, and follow along so you can see me break websites. And here we go. All right, first up. Here we go. Let's get this all set up correctly here. First web, Kristen Brickle, LPC. I'm just going to react to these sites and hopefully that full now. For years, I've taught our fully booked programs, so that's kind of how I still teach marketing, is through the fully booked principles. It's a 5-step system for getting clients consistently, and that 5-step system is essentially having a killer website that includes strong copy, clear calls to action, a compelling and specific niche, good messaging. Step 2, traffic, so Google Ads. Step 3, your Google My Business, SEO. Step 4 is consistent content on your blog. Step 5 is tying it all together with email marketing. So that's how I teach marketing. I've taught that same boring 5 steps for many years. It works. It's not really boring. It's exciting if you're someone like me. So for Kristen, I land right away and I'm getting these very holistic vibes. So if that's what she wants to do, then that's right. Now there's a picture of a hand and she's kind of picking through some foliage, if you will. And it's a nice calming hero image, this image, but I'd rather see one of her clients, her ideal clients here, not an actual client. Obviously, I can already imagine people in the comments, but a client avatar. Generally, we want our marketing to be aspirational, and we're showcasing and advertising the outcomes of our services. So someone who has received therapy from Kristen Brickle and has achieved an ideal outcome, more calm, happy, connected, broken free from your trauma. So that's my only critique here. My other critique is, okay, I was going to say I didn't see a call to action, but I do see one right here below the fold. Now, the interesting part is you would be above the fold. It's like if you fold a newspaper, this is called above the fold, this whole section, everything you see at the top of the site. So really, I would want that call to action to be somewhere over top of the hero image. You could have both a primary and a secondary CTA call to action. Primary is, get started now. Secondary is like learn more or meme or meet Kristen. Some things I like: embodied counseling for midlife. So now a little bit of this, I'm going to play dumb and pretend I'm not. So I'm a little dumb. It's not hard for me to count. I actually don't know what that means, right? I'm also not super new age, if that's like a new age term. So again, roast me in the comments. I'm ready for it. Embodied counseling for midlife. I'm assuming it's a holistic type of thing, but, counseling for midlife is pretty specific, right? People in midlife. So I do like that. I know that it's a counseling business. I know it's all in midlife. That's pretty clear, and so I do like that. Again, embodied means, um, maybe you can explain that, in your copy here soon. The tag revolutionize patterns, change your life. It sounds catchy, but again, has to break down what does it mean to revolutionize your patterns? Um, Marketing should be in 3rd grade language, no greater than 3rd grade language. So would a 3rd grader understand revolutionize your patterns? Would they understand change? Yeah, sure. So what's a version of revolutionize your patterns? Change your pattern, change your life, change your habits, life, something like that. So again, it's catchy and it's a nice word, but my 3rd grade brain, it requires too many calories to break that down. Get started now. Nice big call to action. It's this nice blue color, so that's working really well. Now, here's a big mistake. Well, she says craving collection at the top, but then when she goes into her first paragraph of copy, she says, "I am Kristen. I'm a intuitive LPC, et cetera, et cetera." You just need to say that later, right? You almost had me. So craving clarity and connection, and then go right into this next paragraph of, does this sound like you? And I know it's infomercial when I say it. Are you a chronic people pleaser? Is overfunctioning and anxious your norm? Not enough time to stick to itness when you try to make a change. Yeah, I like that. So you just want to lead with the walk up to someone and just start introducing yourself or talking about yourself. So hook them in with this. Get them saying yes. Get them nodding yes over and over again until you introduce yourself and how you help. Yeah. Um, it's good copy. It's very client centered. It's probably a few too many questions. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 paragraph questions. I would break that down to like 6 to 8 bullet points, the most compelling ones. You got a great photo of you. I mean, it's of you. You could clarify that a little bit again if I'm playing really dumb, just to make sure that's you and not a stock image. So you would kind of introduce yourself later, though, once you've kind of built this case with them and built this rapport. So she's got kind of her services in your future 20-minute phone consultation. Now, again, here, I'm going to play a little dumb. If I can't understand this at a glance, it's too complicated. Got these 3 sections. Invest in your future self. Again, I actually don't know what that means. Does that mean book a session, right? So just say book a session or book a free consult, because I think this is the section. I mean, I can, yeah, schedule a free 20-minute phone consultation. Just say that. Okay. Clarity wins and marketing simply wins. You can be later, you can say abstract things like in future self, invest in your whatever, pious self. But again, that's all it's too abstract for the brain. And when the brain is in pain and suffering and trying to make a decision quickly and protect your precious resources, for our ancestors that was nuts and berries, and right now it's dollar, Dogecoin, then you want to get now. That's your main question, and you just want to make that really clear. The next little section says breakthrough, the free priming your future self-guided, centering your practice. Okay, so if this is free or like a lead magnet, then that's another secondary call to action, not a primary call to action. So that's fine to have that somewhere, but right now it's taking away from your primary call to action. The other thing is you want your primary call to action, like your main one, get started now, to be one color, and then no other color is used button, if that makes sense. That's a weird way of saying it. If that's like orange for your get started now button, then all those get started now buttons are orange, and that's a dedicated color for that. And then your secondary call to action, like download the free future guide, whatever, is, blue or whatever. And you want your primary call to action usually to be bold and stand out. We've got Instagram widget here at the bottom, so it's a nice of Squarespace site, and then we get to your bottom, the bottom of the site. Now, I'm picky about this, right? So the most important parts here is really the top and the bottom. So the menu, you want to have a nice big button here. Where it says contact, it should say get started, a big bright button, and that button should follow you. So she has what's called a sticky menu. That means it's going with you everywhere on the site. I would want that to say get started now, just like that button. And then in the bottom, in your footer, you want that call to action again. People whip down to the bottom very commonly. So instead you have, your opt-in for your email list, but it doesn't give me a lead magnet or a reason. It just says stay in touch, put in first name and I can almost guarantee no one opts into this. There's got to be a value exchange here. And then again, a big call to action. Now, in the very bottom of your footer, again, you're very good with words. You're good at, I can tell, Kristen, you say, embody your highest truth. Again, to me, that's too abstract. Also not a very holistic type of therapist. And that just is what it is. But as a consumer, again, if you're using that, then use it and use it as your main tagline at the image. But instead, you used revolutionize your patterns, change your life. And then in the bottom, you say embody your highest truth. So I would just think about kind of picking one if that makes sense. Now other things from an SEO perspective, big problem. I don't know where you exist. Google doesn't know where you exist. You don't have keywords, regional keywords anywhere on the homepage or in your footer or anywhere I've seen yet. So if it's counseling for midlife, where? Counseling for midlife in Chicago or in Ohio or in Germany, I need to know, and I need to know right away. Google needs to know. You should have your address and maybe even an app widget there in the footer of your site. Let's click on contact, and I'm going to pray that I find it here. Yeah, I've got it here. So Boulder, Colorado. So that's the first time I've seen that, on the site. So that's fine that it's here, but again, you want it to be everywhere. You've got your phone number here. You also probably want your phone number to be in the menu or in the footer. Last thing, from an SEO perspective, you need services pages that are keywords. So a service, trauma therapy Boulder, anxiety therapy Boulder, depression therapy Boulder, et cetera, et cetera. So you have a good site, you have a really good start, I would say. I would just say you can tighten it up. You can make things more, concise and compelling and more concrete for third graders like me. But otherwise, it's good. I mean, you clearly are pushing the kind of holistic brand. Again, you've got a tattoo on your wrist. Very, very, very particular type of style in your photos. So you're clearly appealing to a holistic type of person. So again, that's not me, but that's a lot of people. So that is going to help you in showing people who you are, right? The point of a brand is attract the right people and repel the wrong people, right? So you're doing right. I'm not your ideal client. You're not the therapist for me, but that's a good, right? That means you have a strong brand, right? Right on. I feel like I should engage the audience. How we doing out there? One of those. Just do a stand-up bit about food. Let's move on to the next one. I'm having, hopefully you guys are. We're going to do more thanks to those who submitted these, the people that are on our email list, and the people that have actually been through some of my programs are the ones that got the opportunity to do this. If you're not on our email list, make sure you get on there by just going to our site and opting in for free fully booked training or pretty much anything. All right, let's go to Deb's website. Deb Marinos. Deb, thanks for submitting. Starting top to bottom. One thing is too much blue. That's the first. You got this call to action here in the middle over the hero image that says "Get help now," but that blends in from a UX UI perspective. That button is right, so we need high contrast, especially for our main calls to action. So a lot of blue. We need differentiation now. The eyes scan in a Z when they land on a website. Go to Amazon right now and watch where your eyes go. Top left, top right, across the hero, and then you start scanning zip, 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 back and forth. I don't know why I said zip, zip, zip. That was weird. So top left, we have her logo. Now, it's not much of a logo. Deb, I would recommend getting a logo. Fiverr or 99 Designs. You could go contest, spend a few $100 on a logo. It's going to go a long way. Logo is going to make your site pop and make it feel like a legit brand. If I could get a sponsor from Liquid Death, this sparkling water I'm drinking, I would get it because it's the best darn water I've had. I don't think the water's out there. It's just that good. And it's an interesting brand. It's called Liquid Death, for Christ's sake. Yeah, their tagline, "Order your thirst." The branding is amazing, and it's this very alternative brand to the like LaCroix of the world. But that's not why you're here, or is it? Deb's tagline: "A safe place to sort out life's problems." Okay, I definitely don't mind that. I definitely don't mind that. Let's see. It's going to change my definition here. My team member is saying having a little audio glitches, so let's go ahead and see if we can fix that. And when I click my computer, it shakes the camera. Yeah, I don't know what to do about that. I have like a shaky floor, or it's an earthquake, which is not uncommon in California. So Deb's tagline: "A safe place to sort out life's problems." Now, I think that's fine. I think that's pretty good. Then she goes into her kind of sub taglines or who she helps. Pressured pastors and counselors. I don't know what that means. I had to read it twice. If I have to read it twice, then it's probably too complicated. Pastors and counselors under pressure. I guess that's what it means, so that makes sense. I think you could probably just say pastors and counselors, or maybe find another word. Maybe you wanted the alliteration, but I would think about a different word there. Overloaded business owners. Yeah, that's not bad. Overwhelmed business owners. And then couples in distress. Okay, scroll down. Now she's got this call to action: email now to learn more. So yeah, that's her call to action. Now I would just make it consistent though, because up top she has get help now, and then it says email now to learn more. And again, my little third grade brain wonders if those are going to take me to the same place. Her copy looks good. She starts with this hook: "Are you feeling frustrated or confused by how your feelings have changed? You're feeling stress while facing current challenges. So many losses and grief has us all looking for new tools. Life seems confusing and out of balance. You may usually," there's a typo, may usually be able, it should say, to always proofread your site, um, to manage life as it comes, but this time something is not working. You're noticing more anxiety, depression, or sadness, even fears that keep you from embracing your life. Yeah, I'd say it's pretty good. I'd probably line it up more in the center and make it more skimmable, and maybe throw in some of these in bullet points. Goes on it to introduce herself. Yeah, I would have a picture of you here because you're a solo practice owner, or if you're a group owner, it would be your team here. She says, "It doesn't have to be this way. My name is Deb." Again, there's another typo here. There's a period after Deb and then your last name, Marinos. "My name is Deb Marinos. I help people adapt to changes in their life through developing a safe space to explore and express whatever is going on." Yeah, I mean, again, you have some decent copy here. I just think it can be tightened up structurally. It can be a little more skimmable. And then you go into convenient teletherapy for Oregon residents. I don't think that's necessary now because everyone knows that every therapist offers online sessions in this post. You know what world we're living in. If I say it, Google doesn't like it. Get the help you deserve, email or call for your free 15-minute consultation. So that's fine. I mean, you have these words, email and call linked. I would just make those buttons. Okay, so here's another problem. At the end of your site, you have a big bright pink call to action, which I actually like the pink. That makes sense. And that really pops compared to the blue. But this call to action is different from every other call to action. That's a really big problem. This one goes to /contact. Okay, so you got to pick one and make it consistent for the whole site. And I think what you want is for people to go to that contact page where they can either call, email, or fill out the contact form. And I think that's fine. But pick one color, make that button say the same thing on the whole site. Make it go to the same place. Same thing in your footer, you got to clean this all up. I mean, I understand having this fine print of like the No Surprises Act, but make it tiny if you're going to have it here, or put it in a different page, like an about page or like FAQ page. You got to clean up this part of your site for sure. Big call to action, address, maybe even the little map widget, and like phone number, clickable button in the bottom. So yeah, I just got to make it blatantly easy for people to get in touch and get started. You have this page, My Approach. I think it's fine. There's not much on this page, so I don't think this really works. I think I would consider putting it with the About Deb page. You have your bio, and then, just add My Approach. Either that or just expand this My Approach um, page. Lastly, you could consider a video. I think you can make a case for making a video about talking about your approach, or a video on your About Deb page. Yeah. Okay, services. So she's got lots of services pages. So in theory, that's good. They're way too short. I can tell you that right now. Her /individuals service page is really short. It's probably less than 150 words. It needs to be more built out. It needs to be more keyword rich. Um, People don't search individual therapy, right? They search either the symptom or the type of therapy or the demographic, teen therapy or couples therapy or EMDR therapy or trauma therapy. So you need to base all your your SEO on actual keyword research. I don't know why therapists just assume people type individual therapy. So we have to look at the data and do some keyword research. I think you could change out pretty much all your images of the ocean for pictures of unhappy, or pictures of happy couples, right? Pictures of people, I should say. You've got a lot of these pictures of, the coastline. I'm assuming it's the Oregon coastline. I'll give you one of those. That's your allowance. One picture of a landscape, but that's about it. What are you selling, right? I mean, look at how big companies do this. You're selling a better life, happiness, feeling calm, breaking free from your trauma, you know, navigating life's darkest moments and coming out on the other side. So we're not selling a beach, so don't sell a beach. That's my new tagline, is don't sell a beach. I mean, the weirdest thing about doing this podcast solo is that it's just no one's laughing except for me and maybe my producer. But I'll never know. And if this is your first time, you're like, "Oh, this guy's losing his mind." Hmm. Hmm. All right. That's Deb. Um, Keep going, Anyone here live that wants their site reviewed, meaning absolutely torn apart? I'm just joking. Drop it in the chat. If you're here live, I will review your site right now live if you drop your URL. And we're not doing the full ad today, but I do want to tell you really quickly and just say a shout out to Jane, our sponsor for the podcast. Jane is a wonderful EHR. They're based out of Canada. They've got amazing features and customer service. They will also help you transfer from your current EHR. If you're interested, just go to jane.app/mental health. And you can mention the code PPW1MO at sign up for a 1 month grace period, or you can just mention my name for a 1 month grace period. Jane.app/mental health. Jessica says, I use Jane and I love it. What a review. And Jessica says, I submitted my website. So you're the lucky winner. Let's do Jessica's website next. And then if anyone else wants to go after this, we've got Lauren as well. We'll do Jessica and then Lauren and see how much time we have. Seems to be pretty popular with everyone so far. I mean, we've got a bunch of people here live. We had a bunch of people that submitted, and this is a very last minute thing. So, for my team members listening, we might be onto something here. And you know what's cool about this is I didn't have to plan any content for today. So, I mean, what's not to love, right? Taking note. All right. So going back to that Z formation, I want to like the logo, but it's a little hard to read. It's a little too flat with all of this kind of pastel. That's my only problem. So I'm a fan of just big, bold, bright colors, and contrast. High legibility, high contrast. I just like things that pop. So you could easily take this logo and infuse it with stronger colors that pop, because I think there's a lot of this pastel and it makes me a little sleepy. I'm really not trying to be mean. Hopefully none of this sounds mean. And I'm just a very dry person as well. So some people that don't know me. But that's my reaction to it. Now it's calming. It's calming. So that's good, but is it compelling? So I think it could be more bold. Inner works counseling. What I like so far about your site is you have great clarity, logo, contact us, and then boom, counseling services in London, Ontario. So I know exactly what I'm in for, and I do like that. Now here is where your tagline should be. Over here, after you say what the business is, you now say, are you struggling or feeling overwhelmed with stress in your life and don't know how to change it? This is a waste of real estate. Above the fold is the most precious real estate of your whole site. People are making their decisions largely based on above the fold. They land on your site, and a lot of what's creating your bounce rate is people, what they experience in these first 7 seconds on your site. So I would actually switch up the hierarchy of this. So I would have a tagline in this big bold, and then the sub tagline would be counseling services in London, Ontario. Now, from an SEO perspective and a hierarchy perspective, you can still make this your H1 heading. Okay. INT goat breeder is hating on the chair. I have an option of putting you in timeout on YouTube. So if you're going to be mean, I'll put you in timeout. I've never had to warn someone. But let's not be mean. That's not what we're here for. And let's just say I'll be the one to give the feedback here and not you. You can start your own YouTube channel, Goat Breeder. Okay, now I'm being mean. It could be about breeding goats. So we scroll down, and now we've got all of her services. So from an SEO perspective, I like this. From a user standpoint, I think you could simplify it a bit and try to maybe pick like your top 3 services or even top 4 services, something like that. Now, then you go into our commitment. I love this. Our commitment. We believe that therapy should be enjoyable, adaptable, strategic. I like that, right? So giving them an idea of who we are, what we believe about therapy, how we do things here, how we're different, that's really great for your brand. Yeah, so I think you're a fully booked um, alumni, so I like the copy. You got nice client-centered copy here. Again, it could be a little more skimmable, but that's okay. So here's something, right? We have to think about how is my brand different? What are my differentiators? Therapy for everyday people. Now, is that the differentiator, right? So for you and your 5 competitors, what makes you different? Is it your niche, right? My practice is niche down around EMDR. That's part of what makes us different. Um, is it who you help? Do you serve female veterans or angry teenage boys? So I'm really curious about this piece, therapy for everyday people, because that means who it's not for is extraordinary people. I don't know, rich people, Leonardo DiCaprio. Um, so just thinking through that, like what's the angle of the brand? What's the kind of thesis of the brand? And here's the thing. That's an opportunity to tell me what that means. Therapy for everyday people. The same thing with the last side of like being being holistic or saying things like embodied. Tell me what that means. It's a perfect opportunity to say like I practice embodied counseling and here's what embodied counseling means. Your site is there to in part educate people. So if you're going to go for that angle of therapy for everyday people, then expand on it and tell me what that means. You might think about just, uh, your story, your brand story, right? The story of your business, how you got here, and go back to mission, vision, values. This goes for everyone. Mission, vision, values should really guide your website and really every part of your business. Meet the team. Yeah, this looks fine. You've got nice clickable bios. Your practice is all women. I would just wonder if that's intentional or from a hiring perspective, if there's some variation to be had there. Again, if you were a niche practice, all women therapists who only help women, then I would want to know that. Right now, I'm wondering that just by seeing that, but maybe it's just there's probably more of a story to it. All right, now this is interesting. This is really interesting. And okay, that was weird. If you saw what just happened, this whole page loaded, but it took a while, and all these photos did not have labels on them yet for these services pages. So I was confused, but I also knew they were clickable, but I didn't want to click them. So I was a little confused there with the services. This page is redundant. This should be a drop-down menu because you have all this on your home page, with the services, but then it's redundant to go, all right, I want to know what services they have. And I click on that and then click once more to learn about couples therapy. See, it's doing it again. It's loading slow. So that's weird. I would definitely change that. That's just a weird design thing and it's taking a while to load. So drop down menu for your services. And again, just get really clear on like your top 3 services and consider like, again, who we are and how we're different. Again, overall, I like it. Again, if I had to be picky with the pastels, I think pastels are fine, but think about how a really bold color would pop over top of this pastel. So I don't mind this kind of blue green pastel, but what if this peach color was like a stronger peach? um, which is like the name of an indie band. Uh, yeah, what if that was brighter and it's just gonna pop a little more? I think a little bit more. I think that would be nice. Same for logo could pop a little bit more. So you might, in my opinion, benefit from just a little brand refresh. That being said, if it's working and your site's getting traffic and people are calling, then you don't really have a marketing problem. So, I should probably always start with that as well and just saying, part of being a business owner is just sitting down and being like, what kind of problem do I have? Do I have a marketing problem? And if I do, where is the problem? Do I have a traffic problem? I don't have enough traffic. Okay. I need to get more traffic, either paid and or organic. Let's say I have a lot of traffic. Is the traffic local, right? I have a client who gets 1,000 people a month to her website, but it's all through one blog post and it's all over the world. She's trying to get clients in her town, so that's not helpful. So let's say you have traffic, but then people are not inquiring. You have a conversion problem. Your site isn't converting, right? Um, Now let's say your site is converting and you're getting people on the phone, but you are not converting or your admin is not converting. Well, you have a sales problem. The only way to know this is, with knowing your KPIs, your key performance indicators, having something like the owner dashboard, which is one of our tools that we include in all of our programs. Otherwise, we don't know what's working and we're just going to be, kind of guessing. So we got to try to use data to make our decisions. Now, I promised I would do one more site, and let's go to Lauren's site. I haven't talked to Lauren in a long time, but I hope you're well. I helped you out a long time ago, and I can't remember how much I helped you or what I did to help you. Maybe some early consulting with your website. So basically, if this is awesome, I take full responsibility for it. If it sucks, I take zero responsibility for it. Okay, starting out with uh, psych wellness. So some things that I like. Top left, the logo is nice and big and legible. I like the color. It pops. It's like both calming and it pops. Whatever. You know, you got your number up here, which is great. People can click. It's clickable. If I click that from my phone, it'll call you. That's great. Top right, yeah, the menu looks fine. You have 3 drop down menu items for your services. That's fine. You might want to add more. And then contact, you could make that into a button if I was being picky. Now, psych wellness. Here's the thing, that's wasted real estate as well because it's redundant to say psych wellness over top of your hero. The reason is I'm already looking at it twice before I saw that. I see it in the URL. And if I found you through a Google search, I saw it there and I clicked psychwellness.com. And then I see it in your logo. And then I see it again. That's 3 touch points, and one of those is a third are wasted. So this is really what should be your tagline, and then your sub tagline should be kind of like more SEO heavy. So if your tagline is therapy to manage anxiety and master life, then your sub tagline is, therapy in Chicago or whatever. I can't remember where you live, but I'm going to try to find out quickly. That's another test. If I can't find out quickly, you're in trouble. Okay. Natick, Massachusetts. So something like that. Now, therapy to manage anxiety and master your life. You could probably massage the tagline a little bit, something around manage anxiety and master your life, or learn to manage anxiety, master your life, whatever. You could probably work with that a little bit, but I think it's fine. The tagline doesn't blow me away, but it also doesn't bother me. Again, wasted real estate. Welcome to psych wellness. I hate when people do this. It's just a waste of real estate. This should actually be one of your SEO H1 headers. More than likely, it should be counseling in Natick, or licensed psychologist or anxiety therapy in Natick, Massachusetts, or whatever. Or it should be just another more compelling message. It should be something about managing anxiety and mastering life. Yeah, you have a good start with the copy, and I think I probably helped you with this back in the day. You're feeling overwhelmed. Nothing seems to be working. Things that have worked in the past aren't working now. Maybe this overwhelm is creeping into your work, your relationship, your health, and you're ready to do something about it, to do something different. I'm pretty damn compelled by that. Maybe it's because I helped you write it. Yeah, I'm intolerable. Yeah, I'll help you think different, feel different. I'll help you be well. Get started now. Yeah, I mean, when I say it out loud, it sounds good. It sounds compelling. So for folks listening or watching, definitely take note of how that one hit, how snappy it was, and I think it was pretty impactful. You just want to keep going and expanding on it. something a little glitchy here. You say as featured in, and that's great to add credibility, but it's redundant. I guess you've been in 2 Bustle articles. I would just clean that up. That's just confusing. Insider, and you can click to see the article, and Bustle, click to see the article. Or you could just remove the links and just have Insider and Bustle. So same thing here. Add to the footer your contact info, your address, phone number, email if you want to do that. Um, that would work really well here. So yeah, those areas are super important. Same thing again with the issue of individual therapy page, and using that as a keyword phrase. We just can't assume that that's actually something people search. So you want to do a little SEO work or hire a company to do your SEO, and they're going to do some research to figure out what people are actually searching in Matic, and then plug those keywords into your pages. Might be anxiety therapy or couples therapy or trauma therapy or whatever. Yeah, I definitely gave you some help with writing this bio, which I like it. I'll read it out for the podcast listeners. So her bio starts with, maybe you're asking yourself, why can't I just let this go? Your mind is full of worried thoughts. Those thoughts leave you feeling disconnected from the life happening around you, having trouble getting work done because you're getting stuck on thoughts or situations that haven't happened yet. You want someone who's going to be honest with you. I'm not the kind of therapist who just nods in their head and listens. Let me help you untangle the lies that anxiety tells you. Man, that's pretty compelling. Again, the risk of tooting my own horn. I mean, you wrote this. I don't know. I just remember helping you with some of this. Yeah. I promise the point of today is not to make me look good. Anyway, yeah, just that nice line. That line lands really well. And you could even think about making that bold. Or man, you know what? That could even be your tagline. I'll help you untangle the lies that anxiety tells you. I think that's pretty compelling, and you see how the copy worked up to that, and then boom, it hits you with that. So that could be bold, it could be italicized, it could be in its own little box, and you could really use something like that for a tagline. So you're welcome. I became a therapist because I believe change is possible. Yeah, that's nice. Together, we'll work to identify the ways you're feeling stuck and a plan to move forward. I view myself as a guide who takes what science says about your struggles and makes it useful for you. So there's a big piece too. That's your differentiator, is being, scientific, being data driven, evidence based. You just want to make that more known, because I know that is a big part of how you work, Lauren. And so make that more known and think about, like, in a sea of therapists, how am I different? Not everyone is as heavy on the science or the evidence. So make that known, because that does make you different. And I could kind of feel that through some things, through the brand and whatnot, but you just want to make that really obvious. And then she goes on, licensed clinical psychologist, doctoral degree from Northeastern University, graduate degrees from Boston College and Cornell, and undergraduate from Cornell. I have advanced training in CBTI, Gottman level 1. Yeah, all really great stuff. And you have a killer education. You definitely want to make that pretty obvious. That is important to some people. That's very important to some people. So um yeah, it's another way to stand out and differentiate yourself. So again, I like what you have, and I like the site overall. I think it's working. You just, sit down and think about your differentiators and revisit your practice, and just kind of ask yourself, like, what makes me different today? Because it might be a little different than when you started. And look at your caseload right now. Who are you helping, and how do you help them? And with all the therapists in your market now, like, how are you different, and why should people choose you? You gotta keep coming back to that, and who you are and what makes you different. And I could ramble, but I'll try not to. We've been going for, man, almost 45 minutes, which is great. This has been a lot of fun for me. And again, it's a lot of work, but also less work, because I didn't have to plan this. So thank you all, for those of you who submitted your websites. I'm more than happy to do this again before too long, if this was helpful to you. We can definitely plan one of these out in the next few weeks to do it again. If you're if you're interested in that, let me know in the comments. Um, and we can, figure out how to get your website reviewed next time. Next week, I'm sitting down with Carrie Haynes to talk about how to add groups to your practice. You could be a solo owner or a group practice owner, but adding group therapy to your practice, it's going to be really great. She helps a lot of therapists with that. Like I mentioned before, I I've got just a couple slots for individual coaching for group practice owners right now. We meet twice a month for 45-minute sessions. I'm really big on teaching you business foundations, holding you accountable, helping you know the numbers of your practice, getting clear on mission, vision, values, building systems and processes that people can follow in your absence, outsourcing, creating passive income, you name it. So if you're interested, just email me, john@privatepracticeworkshop.com, and if you sound like a good fit, we'll hop on a call. Right now, that program, we work for 3 months at a time. It's $700 a month for 2 sessions a month, 2 45-minute sessions a month. So if that's something you're interested in, get in touch, and I look forward to it. Thanks again to Jane for sponsoring our show. Again, that's jane.app/mental health. You can mention me for a month off when you sign up. Thanks for being here. Yeah, really fun one, and we had good attendance today, so I'm very, very pleased by that. And thanks to everyone who submitted their websites. Um, yeah, I could ramble for another 10 minutes, but there's really no reason to do that. So, yeah, thank you all again for being here, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Thanks. See you soon. Cheers.